I want to talk to you about semi-truck financing, but most importantly, I want to talk to you about no credit check semi-truck financing, because the whole thing is if you have an existing semi-truck operation or you're trying to really open one, the last thing you want if you have bad credit or if you have no credit is to actually go through the credit checking program, right? So here's the general information I want you to really pay attention to. So in today's conversation, I want to talk to you about semi-truck financing for owner operators, not for so it doesn't matter if you have an LLC, if you have a sole proprietorship, if you have a C corporation or S corporation for that matter. It doesn't matter. Okay, what matters here is that you are able to look at your profile, your financial profile, and say, okay, can I qualify for this no credit check commercial trucking like financing? Okay, now what is exactly commercial truck financing or leasing for that matter? By the way, when I speak about financing, you can also put in there actually leasing as well. Okay, so this is basically a financing option tailored specifically for your trucking business that doesn't require a credit check. So gone are the days of people actually looking into your FICO score and seeing what you have. If you have 300 or 450 or 500 or even 720. Okay, the thing is that basically you are able to acquire new or used the trucks without having your credit scrutinized, making it an ideal choice for you if you have a lower credit score. So no credit check commercial truck financing is typically based on factors like your business's cash flow, the type of truck you are looking to lease or buy, and your industry experience. Let me repeat that because those three criteria are really important. I mean, the financier, the bank, the credit union, the financial institution, and checking your credit, but they will be looking at three important factors. This trifecta. Remember this trifecta. So your cash flow, your company's cash flow, your cash inflows and cash outflows, how many loads you're hauling, what is your revenue per load, all that kind of stuff. So the quantitative aspect of things, the financial aspect of things. So that's one thing that you have to really think about. Number two, you have to really also think about actually your experience. So as an owner operator, what kind of experience do you have? And experience really is a good thing in terms of your experience in the industry, but also your experience as when it comes to the specific geography that you currently occupy, like your county, your state, that kind of stuff. And the third thing is also your businesses. Like your businesses overall. Let's say the type of truck you are looking to acquire. So when you think about no credit check semi-truck financing, here are the options I want you to really think about, because see, underneath this semi-truck financing, you have all kinds of options that all actually fall down into that category of semi-truck financing. Okay, first of all, you have equipment financing. So equipment financing allows you to borrow funds specifically for purchasing a semi-truck or other equipment, and a lender will often use the truck itself as collateral, which may help you secure financing even with a less than perfect credit score. So that's kind of cool. From a flexibility point of view, you will love that. So that's the first thing. And then you have invoice factoring. So invoice factoring is actually an alternative financing option in which you basically sell your outstanding invoices to a factoring company in exchange for, let's say, immediate cash. Okay. So if you have if you're an owner operator and right now you know that your credit is excuse the term crappy, and you know that on the revenue side you are doing great, then you can actually use invoice factoring to access cash real fast. Okay, so you can get access to funds quickly without relying on your credit score. So that's a good way also, at least in the short term. You also have a short-term lease loan. Short-term lease loans are actually a flexible option that allows you to lease a semi-truck for a shorter period, often ranging from a few months to a couple of years. And these loans may be easier to secure for owner-operators with bad credit. If that's you, then yeah. You also have business line of credit. So this is something to really think about. If you want to have a no credit check semi-truck financing arrangement. So a business line of credit is really a revolving credit line that allows you to draw funds as needed up to a predetermined limit. And this option can provide flexibility and may be more accessible to owner-operators with bad credit. So if you are an OO with bad credit, you might want to really explore the business line of credit option. You also have semi-truck leases and business loans overall. Okay, So here you have more possibilities in terms of financing arrangements. So that's really good. But everything I want you to remember that is that you have actually access to a no credit check financing arrangement. So if you want to get no credit check semi truck financing this year, here are the requirements I want you to really pay attention to. The thing is that, of course, a lot of lenders, they may not care about your credit score, but as I said a little earlier, they care about your financial profile, your financial health, right? So when I speak about your financial health, the first thing that you gotta think about is your monthly income. How much are you generating every month as an owner operator? I mean, what kind of routes are you hauling for? What kind of loads are you hauling? What kind of shippers are you working with? What kind of dispatchers are you working with? What kind of freight brokers are you working with? What is your foundation in the industry? Foundation, quote unquote, your monetary foundation. Okay, so monthly income over $10,000. That will get you like closer to having no credit check semi truck financing. Okay, now your business must be earning at least 10K in a business bank account, because the lender is going to verify the revenue inflow to make sure that you are indeed making at least 10K a month. Just saying, listen, I'm making 10K a month ain't going to cut it. Okay, you're going to actually prove. You need to be able to prove it. If the lender wants to really check your credit score, just make sure your credit score is not really that low. I mean, like, some lenders pay attention to, let's say, credit score. They'll take you in if you have a credit score of 350, 400, and 350, 400 to 450 as a minimum. Okay, so but one thing for sure, the higher your credit score, the better, right? And you got to be in business for at least 6 months. If you remember earlier, I was telling you about the operational longevity. I was talking to you about experience also. Experience in terms of the routes that you are hauling for, the routes that you are actually dispatching. So you got to be in business for at least 6 months. So if you are just brand new and you have bad credit, that's going to be very complicated. Okay, your company should be operational for at least 6 months, and this shows lenders that your trucking company is established. And I'm not talking about just being established for 6 months since you just last filed the paperwork. No, you have to be operationally active. In other words, you have to be generating revenue. You have to be hauling loads. You have to be talking to dispatchers, to brokers, to shippers, all that kind of stuff. And you got to have a business bank account also. If you want to actually qualify for a semi-truck financing this year, you got to have, let's say, a business bank account for at least three months, because lenders wants to make sure that you're not like you're not a check system sort of a red flag. So if you are looking for a no credit check semi-truck financing this year, here is a process I want you to pay attention to. The first thing you want to do is you want to research and choose the right lender. I mean, you have all kinds of lenders who want to work with you. Okay, even if you have bad credit, even if you have no credit, you have a lot of players out there, a lot of financial players who are willing, who have recognized the opportunity that's presented to them, and who are willing to actually seize that opportunity. Okay. So when I speak about financial players, I'm speaking about banks, credit unions, and also you have alternative funding companies. Okay, like you have Balboa Capital, for instance. You have Clarify Capital. You have a lot of players. So in terms of choosing the right lender, you want to pay attention to a few factors like interest rates, loan terms, eligibility requirements. One thing you want to do is to choose a lender that caters to your specific needs and credit situation. And this is kind of important to really think about it that way. The second thing you want to do is you want to gather the required documentation. So because if you want to qualify for a no credit check semi-truck financing, you got to have a certain type of paperwork. Okay. So the required documentation, it will include personal identification. So your driver's license, your passport or state issued ID, proof of income. So here I'm speaking about pay stubs, tax returns, or bank statements, business financials. So your balance sheet, profit and loss statement, and cash flow statement, business registration documents. So things like articles of incorporation, business licenses or permits, equipment details like the make, model, and year, and even the cost of the semi truck, and also insurance information. So proof of insurance for the truck that you are thinking about buying or that you bought already. And then you complete the application and go through the credit check and evaluation, get the loan offer and negotiation. So one thing for sure, whether you have bad credit or good credit, the lender is going to check your credit anyway. So the lender will do a hard pull. So this is kind of important, but the hard pull is not going to really damage your credit that much. Maybe reducing the score by 5 or 10 points. Okay, but yeah, it's something that you need to really account for, at least at the beginning. So let me give you the extras here. When you think about actually no credit check semi-truck financing, maybe you want to really think about the financing versus leasing a semi-truck with bad credit score or no credit score for that matter. And you do have benefits for financing and also benefits for leasing. So maybe you might want to contemplate a leasing route, for instance. So when it comes to financing, you own the truck at the end of the loan term, potentially lower monthly payments, tax benefits such as depreciation, deductions. That's really something that's really important to think about. On the other side, when you have leasing, there are some benefits too, because there is no ownership at the end of the lease. The leasing arrangement typically requires less money upfront at the dealership. It's easier to upgrade to newer trucks at the end of the lease term. And the thing is, maintenance, warranty, and repair costs may be covered by the lessor. So this is something that's really important to really think about. So if you are contemplating no credit check semi-truck financing this year, you have to really understand that there is another option, and that option is leasing. Okay, so if you want to lease a semi-truck instead of financing it, just remember that lease payments may be tax deductible as operating expenses. Lease may include maintenance coverage depending on the agreement. That's for the maintenance, even though if you were to buy the vehicle yourself, you as the owner are responsible for maintenance and repairs. And in terms of mileage, there are no mileage restrictions if you acquire the semi-truck yourself. But if you were to lease it, the lease may have a mileage limits with fees for exceeding them. And also one thing for sure, the resale value, there is no resale option as the truck is returned to the lessor at the end of the lease. But when it comes to you acquiring the truck yourself, you can sell the truck at any time, but you may be subject to depreciation. Okay, and in terms of credit requirements, financing a semi-truck may have stricter credit requirements, whereas leasing a semi-truck may be more lenient. The program may be more lenient with bad credit applicants, so something to really keep in mind. So what's the cost here? When you think about no credit check semi-truck financing this year, you got to really have a clear idea about the cost that you need to contemplate to actually get into this type of arrangements. So you have to think about the truck cost, the down payment, the interest rates, the loan term, and also the fact that you have to really see what works for you and what doesn't work for you. Okay, especially in the long run. Now, when I speak about the truck cost, basically, the price of a semi-truck can range from $15,000 for a used truck to over $150,000 for a brand new, top-of-the-line model. Now, naturally, the cost of financing will depend on the purchase price of the truck. That makes sense. And you have to think about the down payment. So lenders may require a down payment, which typically ranges from 10% to 20% of the truck's purchase price. Especially if you want to have a no credit check semi-truck financing, be ready to actually shell out a little bit of cash, okay? Now, some financing options may not require a down payment or may offer lower down payment options for borrowers with strong credit. And you also have interest rates. So interest rates for semi-truck financing can really vary widely depending on factors like your credit score, the loan term, and the lender's policy. Also, the state of the economy, okay? Now, rates can range from as low as 5% for borrowers with excellent credit to 15% or higher for those with bad credit. And so keep in mind that lower interest rates will result in lower overall financing costs. So something to really think about, especially in the long run, okay? Also, you want to pay attention to the loan term. So if you're looking for a no credit check semi-truck financing, pay attention to the repayment window. So the length of the loan term can be also impacting the cost of financing. So a longer loan term will result in lower monthly payments but higher overall interest cost, while a shorter term will have, let's say, higher monthly payments but lower total interest cost. So that gives you like you need to really strike the right balance between time versus the interest payments. Okay, loan terms for semi-truck financing can range actually from a few months to several years. So this is kind of important to really keep in mind, especially from a flexibility point of view. What are the tips here? I'm still talking to you about semi-truck financing, okay? And so I want to give you a few tips before you apply for a semi-truck financing this year. You want to improve your credit score. Of course, I'm speaking about no credit check, but you know what? The higher your credit score, the better, okay? So that would be really good to really pay attention to that part of things. You want to repair your credit. So if you got some blemishes in your credit report, it's time to clean them up, really. You can work with a credit repair company or tackle the issues yourself by disputing, for instance, inaccuracies and negotiating with creditors, okay? And soft check your score regularly with credit bureaus. You also want to leverage other credentials, so show off your industry experience, CDL, certifications, and other credentials that demonstrate your expertise as an owner-operator. This can help convince lenders that you are a solid investment. Also, you want to have a solid business credit history. So if you don't have a good credit history on the personal side, at least on the business side, you might want to really have things really well polished. Okay. Also, what you want to do is that try to have a high annual revenue. So if your business generates impressive revenue, it can be a strong selling point when applying for financing. Lenders will more likely to approve your no credit check semi-truck financing if they see that your business is profitable. And also think about your previous history with lenders. So have you successfully repaid loans in the past? Great. That's a sign that you are a responsible borrower, which can really work in your favor when applying for a semi-truck financing. So if you want to consider I want to share with you, and I'm going to close on this one. Here is a methodology I want you to pay attention to. There are certain things to consider with commercial truck financing with bad credit. Think about having a larger down payment. Using a cosigner, if possible, this will increase your chances of being approved real fast, okay? You want to think about the funding speed. So some financing options like short-term loans can provide quicker access to loans, which might be crucial if you need a commercial truck loan right away. Think about the maximum loan amount. Think about the collateral if you want it that way, and also think about insurance. Don't forget to factor in the cost of insurance when financing a semi-truck. Lenders typically require borrowers to maintain comprehensive insurance coverage for the duration of the loan term. So this is something that can come and add up actually big time to the overall cost when it comes to no credit check semi-truck financing for you this year. So here are the closing arguments. In today's conversation, I spoke to you about the no credit check semi-truck financing. I gave you the general information, the options, the requirements, the process, the extras, the cost, the tips, and the methodology. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.